Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our podcast. The first podcast had over 100 views on YouTube last week.
But no feedback. So we're still without a name.
Yeah, we don't have a name at the moment. So let us know if you have any ideas, any feedback at all, even if you think it's bad. Because, it probably is bad because this is the 4th time we've started recording now.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a mishap in the studio.
It's falling apart
without
without Greg.
Today, so.
Greg isn't here this week because he went home to watch Infinity War, which he's had planned for nearly over a year.
Yeah.
Since before this podcast was even
about
a thing. He was like a small child at Christmas.
He just tossed us aside. It was like, no, we're going to watch Infinity War or Ward. I don't actually know what it is.
Infinity Ward, Grandad. Is that like face stew?
Oh, I don't know.
But no, he was quite, apologetic for not being here. And we've just fallen apart.
We have. We've caved.
We've completely caved. This is take 4 of the intro.
Let's make sure this is the right one and that we don't have to roll on to a 5th.
So I think we should get going.
I think we should too. Let's just get straight into it.
So go on then. What have you brought for me?
I've brought in this week the idea about movies on games, because I said the other day when we sat down, and this was before we even thought about doing a topic, I just said there's no decent movies of games. And then when I looked at it, I thought, you know what, I'm wrong, because there has been some decent movies. I mean, Hitman was good, based on the game, obviously. Resident Evil was good. Max Payne was a great movie, the one from Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's plenty more that are out there. But then there's also some absolute clangers. I mean, yay, the fridge has stopped. Yeah, so there's also been some absolute clangers out there. One of them being, off the top of my head, Alone in the Dark.
See, I've not seen that film.
Well, it's in the bottom 100 of movies, and I actually read somewhere that directors who have had like shockers turn around and say, "Oh, at least I didn't direct Alone in the Dark," as almost like a way of making themselves feel better. So
may have to check that one out then.
yes, I have watched it, but I watched it a very long time ago.
On the subject of good ones, it's not a very popular opinion, but I did like Assassin's Creed.
I've not seen it yet.
It's a very good film, in my opinion anyway. Other people might think it's utter trash.
I mean, I think there's split opinion with movies. It's a split opinion with everything, I guess. Some people can enjoy things, some people can't.
But the new Tomb Raider,
everyone's
based off the game.
that.
Based off the first game.
And there was originally Tomb Raider movies with, I can't remember her name.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, that's the one. And I think they were...
And they're great films.
Were they?
I like them.
Is that another one of those split opinion things where it's like...
I think so. I think some...
50% on Rotten Tomatoes,
let me check that.
IMDb.
But some people might not enjoy them purely because of the origin of it.
I think the thing I have with Tomb Raider is I've only ever played one Tomb Raider game, and that was a long time ago. And I was very much just doing the exact same thing that other people were doing, which is locking the old farting guy in the freezer.
Oh, putting the butler in the freezer.
The butler, that's the guy.
Okay, well...
The old farting guy, that shows my knowledge on Tomb
The
Raider.
2001 Lara Croft Tomb Raider has a tomato meter score of 20% and an audience score of 47.
So it's
not the best film out there. It's not the most well received.
But you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
And I'm pretty sure you're not alone.
I like bad films, which is why I've got some sort of obsession with The Room.
I think everyone has an obsession with The Room. Have you seen The Disaster Artist? Is that even out yet?
I don't think it's out yet, but I have seen trailers.
I am looking forward to going and seeing that. When we first saw the trailer, we was all giggling at it. I have seen The Room. Have you seen it yet?
I have seen The Room.
It's
ridiculous.
I found it thoroughly enjoyable from start to finish. I was giggling so much.
In my opinion, it should have won more.
It should have won more. It should still be winning awards now. Why have you not given him an Oscar? Why? So...
I'm trying to think. Oh no, it is out. It's 2017.
It came out last year.
Yeah. It's got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So it's actually done better than the film it's parodying.
Probably. Who is it? It's James Franco, Dave Franco. Is Mark. Oh, hi Mark.
What's his name? Not Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen's the director.
Okay. So anyway, back onto films of video games. Sorry, I knew I was going to mess that one up.
Yes, films of video games.
Like I said before, there are some absolute clangers. Virtual Fighter being one of them. Jean-Claude Van Damme's probably one of his lowest moments in his career, arguably.
It's not based off a video game, but I'd have to put Ready Player One
in bad or good
forward as one of the best. It's based off a book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could talk about other video games as well, like
because of when the book was
the sampler one. Pixels or something.
Yeah, with the giant Pac-Man.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but you didn't need to watch anything other than the trailer to know that thing was going to be an absolute nosedive.
Yeah, that's money I won't be seeing again. But Ready Player One, based off a book, but because of when the book was written, they've had to update the references and things like that, which is why you've got.
So it's almost like Tron in a sense, because whilst it's not based off of a real video, I don't know, is Tron based off of an actual video game? The film was a cult success, wasn't it? Really, the original, and it spawned a sequel/remake type movie.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah, which I found were both enjoyable. I quite enjoyed the original and the remake, and I'm pretty sure my dad did as well, which is surprising, seeing as though he was one of those people. If you listened to it last week, he's very much like me in the fact that he prefers everything old and hates everything new. In the sense of, he went absolutely ballistic the other day when I asked him what he thought of the new Star Wars. Now, I was very sort of laid back about Star Wars. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as the originals, and I wasn't disappointed with it, but he was. I thought when I asked him about it, I saw the rage build up in his eyes, and he almost flipped the dinner table in anger at just how bad it was.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to who I went to watch Infinity War with yesterday, and he said to me, "Oh well, because of when we grew up, my favourite 3 Star Wars films are the prequel trilogy, which in everyone else's eyes are the worst 3 films, not just of Star Wars, some of them ever."
The thing is, though, is that with them movies, you can almost skip through them. Like, if you're speaking to someone who's never seen a Star Wars movie before and they're just about getting into sort of sci-fi / like big blockbuster movies and stuff like that, they could easily miss out Star Wars, like the original 3 Star Wars. Well, not the original 3, the prequel.
The prequel 3.
And
the noughties 3.
Yeah, and sort of none the better.
Well, that's the thing. Like, obviously starting with episode 4, you go into the
proper Star Wars, isn't it?
It's proper Star Wars, and you go in with the impression that, well, one, everyone in the film knows what happened anyway.
Yeah. Because
so
they
it wouldn't have made a difference
originally. I think it's a strange concept how it started off with episode 4. I mean, when
I think it was to do with money, because if you look at the cities, the amount of different creatures or races that you need for.
I mean, that's what I always said, and I always said about how it was almost like the dark times, because obviously back then colour wasn't as vibrant as it was nowadays, and it almost makes the film sort of, not depressing, but it makes it feel more gritty, the originals, I think, and that just works for me, I think, with the whole, like the people who are in charge are the bad guys, whereas in the earlier stage everything was a bit more glossy, a bit more almost dreamlike in a sense, so you could look at it from that respect as well. But
yeah, I get that, but you know, we're doing really good at keeping on topic.
We have rattled off, so I think we should rattle off completely and see what you've brought to the table now.
See what I've brought. See, it's a mixture, because I'm a bit caught in 2 minds about what to talk about.
How long have we got left? Talk about both. Come on.
Talk about both. Okay. Well, I'll go with the first one, because I read this to you yesterday, and I mean, I love it. I think you were.
I've already forgotten, I won't lie.
You were intrigued by it, if I remember.
Oh, Jeff!
This is Jeff the mongoose. because this is what I do with my free time.
Now,
Welcome to university.
just for reference to people at home, this is a Wikipedia page that Billy found yesterday while sat at the breakfast table.
Was doing dinner, waiting for my noodles to cook. And it came up. I remember hearing it somewhere before. And in the edit, we'll try and put...
I'll put a link in the description.
We'll put the link in the description.
People can go and find out for themselves about Jeff, because it is quite a wonderful story.
But this is the story of Jeff the mongoose. In September 1931, the Irving family, consisting of James, Margaret and 13-year-old daughter Viore, claimed to have heard a persistent scratching, rustling and vocal noises behind their farmhouse's wooden wall panels that resembled a ferret, a dog or a baby. Point 1, how does a dog or a ferret represent a baby?
I don't know.
But I digress.
How does a baby get behind a wall without people knowing?
It's the 30s, times were different. Didn't everyone put their baby behind the wall
The
panel?
baby's crying again. Let's plaster it up.
According to the Irvings, a creature named Jeff introduced itself and told them it was a mongoose born in New Delhi, India in 1852. According to Viore, Jeff was the size of a small rat with yellowish fur and a large bushy tail. The Irvings say that Jeff communicated with them, saying he was an extra clever mongoose, an earthbound spirit and a ghost in the form of a mongoose, a mongoast.
So he's been caught in two minds himself there, because one...
It's very convoluted. And
I am a mongoose. No, wait, I'm the ghost of a mongoose. But I'm also very smart. Well, clearly you're not, because you managed to get yourself trapped behind a wall. You're not that smart.
It gets better.
Carry on, please continue, sorry.
It gets
I'm
so
picking
much
out
better.
plot holes in this.
Jeff apparently said once, I am a freak. I have hands and I have feet. And if you saw me, you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone or a pillar of salt. The Irvings made various claims about Jeff.
Salt. Can we just stop a moment and just appreciate a pillar of salt?
I mean, I get the turn to stone thing.
Yeah, Medusa
and all that. But I don't know where the pillar of salt.
You've just become... Saxo salt.
It gets, more convoluted. And even better, if you ask me. These people were so imaginative. It's amazing.
Acid is one hell of a drug.
Oh, stronger back in the 30s. The Irvings made various claims about Jeff. He supposedly guarded their house and informed them of the approach of guests or any unfamiliar dog.
Unfamiliar dog?
So, your nan's at the door, but there's also a dog you haven't met yet. Down the road somewhere.
Careful with that daughter of yours. This one could be a bit snappy.
They said that if someone had forgotten to put the fire out at night, Jeff would go down and stop the stove. They also claimed Jeff would wake people up when they had overslept. The Irvings say they gave Jeff biscuits on a saucer suspended from the ceiling, which he took when he thought no one was watching.
Suspended from the ceiling. Are they really that worried about the fall? You have a mongoose living in your house.
Yeah, but it's a ghost, so it can,
It can hover and fly around.
Well, I think they had a dog as well.
So the dog...
So if you put Jeff's biscuits down, obviously the dog's going to get to them.
I think Jeff could beat the dog. I think Jeff's going to be faster.
See, that's a...
I mean, how fast do mongooses move?
I wouldn't have a... This is my favourite part. Okay. The Irvings claim the mongoose would regularly accompany them on trips to the market, but always stayed on the other side of the hedge.
On the other side of
chatting incessantly. So
the conveniently placed hedge which follows them all the way
so
from
he's
their house
there,
to the market.
He's there, but you can't see him because he's behind the hedge.
I think the whole family is completely and utterly bonkers.
Well, it's like, he'll follow you he'll come with you to Winchester Market. He'll stay behind the hedge, or mustn't go behind that hedge.
Just there.
Jeff can't go behind the hedge, Jeff's
You
there.
become a pillar of salt. What an absolutely bizarre story that is, though.
See, it gets a little bit dark now.
Oh, yes.
Because In 1945, James Irving, the father, died, and they had to sell the farmhouse. And they sold it to a man called Leslie Graham, who was an actor at the time, who claimed to the tabloid press that he'd shot and killed Jeff.
No.
I know, right?
Why would you kill Jeff? Look, he was warning you of unfamiliar dogs. Why would you feel the need to shoot him?
I don't know.
So this James, is it? Who's the guy who moved in?
Leslie Graham.
Leslie Graham. Was he in any decent movies, or was he a stage actor?
I wouldn't know. I can always...
I think he was just angry that he didn't get the role in Alone in the Dark.
Oh, everyone wanted that.
Everyone wanted the role. Come on.
Leslie Graham. Oh, that's Grantham. Completely different person. Anyway, so there is an end to this story. A person doesn't give his first name. Someone Lambert. I think it was S. Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
Went to did a piece about how he thought Jeff was real.
Oh.
And the fridge kicked up. And an action for slander was brought against Sir Cecil Levita, which I think is an amazing name. People need names like this now. After Levita suggested that Lambert was unfit to be on the board of the British Film Institute, the BFI. Levita said that Lambert was, quote, off his head because he believed in the talking mongoose. Lambert took it to trial and received £7,600 in damages, which in 1937 was a fair amount. I don't know what the exchange rate is from old, but it's a lot of...
That's a lot of wonga.
It's a lot of wonga. And Lambert's counsel managed to introduce a BBC memo which showed that Lambert's career had been threatened if he persisted with the case. The case became known as the mongoose case.
The mongoose case. This is...
So that's the kind of
this is
weird
British
shit.
law at its finest.
Well, I think I forgot to mention, the Irvings and Jeff lived on the Isle of Man.
Where the famous TT racing.
Exactly. But if you lived on the Isle of Man, or if I lived on the Isle of Man, I'd create a talking mongoose.
I think
to pass the time. I mean, this was the 30s. The war hadn't started yet. There was nothing to do. And I played you those transmissions in inverted commas.
I'll put them in the description as well.
We'll put a link to them down in the description, because...
You even said it yourself. If you heard these transmissions coming from your house...
If I heard that through
you wouldn't
my
try
wall,
to make friends with it, you'd hightail it.
I'd burn the house down. I wouldn't give it biscuits on a saucer suspended from the ceiling.
Oh dear. Well, we've got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
What was your second thing? Come on, we'll rattle through this quick.
Oh, well, the other one was just, I need to talk about God of War.
I'm going to let you do that. I will
Because
just let you whitter on.
I got it the day it came out, on the 20th of April, 420. Blaze. So when everyone else was getting high in Hyde Park, I was sat in a dark room,
Injecting God of War into your...
directly into my bloodstream.
I've watched you play a little bit of it. I haven't played it myself. I don't have a PS4.
Gorgeous.
It does look amazing.
It's something different that you don't get from games these days. Not AAA games anyway. Is that it's story driven. And I've not played a decent story driven game since The Witcher 3. Just everything, like the mythology it's based on. So it's Kratos is a god of war.
It's got a good storyline to it, and I think it's one of those things where I'm hoping it's done well. I don't know what the but it's got at the box office. Well, not the box office.
The box office.
What its reception's been like and how well it's done financially.
I think it's been very
good.
I think it's got a very good reception. I think.
Well, see, that's refreshing to hear because obviously.
There, here we go.
Like I was saying yesterday, last podcast about how times have changed and how games have almost become so much more based on multiplayer now. It's nice to actually have a good single player game sometimes.
Yeah.
That is the core of gaming in my opinion.
It's 95% on Metacritic. 9 out of 10 on trusted reviews and 5 out of 5 on Games Radar.
So yeah, there you go. It's hitting all the
exactly.
right
And
buttons.
Polygon describe it as what a mature game looks like. So it's not like a. If you didn't understand what was going on, you'd struggle to play the game.
Yeah.
If you didn't understand that you have to do this because
It's not a game where it's glossed up. It's just
no,
genuinely
it's not like, oh, there's the target, go and shoot it.
I mean, when I've watched you play it, well, I'll have to keep this quite short, but when I've watched you play it almost plays out like a movie or a good storybook.
Well, that's the thing. The trailer, the cinematic trailer came up in the cinema last night, and Lewis turned to me and was like, "Oh, is that the game you've got?" And I said to him, "That's the cinematic trailer, but that's how the game looks.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a cinematic. Like you see all these trailers for The Witcher 3,
Far Cry as well.
Far Cry as well. The cinematic trailers were outstanding, and then you get the game and it's like, oh, okay, so you've just rendered that for not the Far Cry and The Witcher 3 aren't great.
Yeah.
But
But
I mean,
it's like it's almost not false advertising because they always say like not actual
cinematic,
game
not
footage.
actual gameplay.
But
God of War could have used actual gameplay.
it's that good, and like it is a very pretty game. I even came into your room yesterday and was like, the game is just very aesthetically pleasing.
It is. I think even when you upgrade armor and weapons, they get a little extra aesthetic appeal to them.
And it's the little things, isn't it? So
Someone asked me yesterday, because Witcher 3 is my favourite game ever. He asked me, is it better than The Witcher 3? I can't answer that question just yet, because I've not played it through 3 times.
you'll have to try and complete it before next
Well,
week's podcast.
let's hope New Game Plus.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that'll be the make it or break it for you.
I could just restart it again. I can see myself doing that.
Well, once again, we've run over time.
It's only about 2 minutes this time,
Yeah, not as bad.
not by 10.
At least we haven't got Greg here. So he's
I've missed having Greg's in.
I have missed having Greg.
But he'll be back
next week.
He'll be back next week, and so will we. So again, if you have any feedback for us or a name suggestion, let us know on Twitter, because our Twitters are down in the description.
Yep.
Or let us know on YouTube.
Absolutely anything.
So that throngs of people that follow our YouTube channel, all 5 of them, we could fit round a table.
Big ups to you guys, though. Big ups.
I don't think it's big ups to you guys, because 3 of them are us.
Don't say that.
So, big up to you 2 people.
Oh, dear. Yeah, big up to you guys.
Let's go for a drink.
Yeah. Get involved, get in contact, and most importantly, give us feedback.
Exactly. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you later.